We don't know if their quarterback's going to be back, Wes Lunt, the freshman. Don't know if he's going to be playing or not. I'm not really scared about either of them. I saw Colin Klein go up to Jake Knott and AJ Klein after the game and just grab both of them and just I would love to know what was said.
Kumbaya.
But I can tell you right now, it was one out of great respect for those two because
I'm sure it was.
You don't have a Heisman quarterback pull two linebackers aside, go and run and find them rather than the other quarterback to talk to them.
Absolutely.
And Oklahoma State, you get the double Ks again.
I don't have a signal or anything for that, so but I wish I did.
For those of us just listening, you have no idea what Chuck was just doing there, but it looked like some type of play calling from the sideline.
Yeah.
He's still doing it, folks. Okay, let's switch it up. Iowa State beats Oklahoma State. And Iowa, Penn State, Kinnick Stadium, 7 o'clock game.
7 Central.
7 Central.
5 Pacific.
Or 6 Eastern.
No, 8 Eastern.
8 Eastern. That's
6
what I
Mountain.
said. 6 Mountain. And
you heard that here first, too.
People think... I don't know what people think.
No, see, that's something we usually would have covered in our production meeting. We just didn't quite have enough time to get that in with everything else we were cramming. But we'll work on that for next week.
You know what's funny is I call all sorts of time zones for work, too. And, man, I butchered that one.
That's all right. So, Iowa, I don't know if they score a touchdown. I don't know if Penn State gets an extra point.
It's gonna be Stoit in the house.
I don't know. I mean that would be great prop bets in Vegas because I think Iowa wins, but it's gonna be 15-13, and Penn State doesn't kick any field goals. They probably had an extra point blocked or missed, or 15-12. They didn't even try the extra point. Or maybe Iowa loses 16-15 because Penn State probably just says nuts to it. I'm going to just keep doing 2-point conversions. Possible. But I say Iowa wins 15-13. I don't think they score any touchdowns. And Mike Myers is again a Lou Groza Player of the Week candidate.
And that's your thoughts?
That's my thoughts. I mean, Iowa, I don't know how they're going to move the ball. The offense is pretty inept. And defense is pretty solid. Penn State's defense is pretty solid. Matt McGloin's looking better. But, slight edge to Iowa. Field position game. And they find ways to just kick a bunch of field goals.
I understand.
Like Myers 47, good.
One thing that concerns me, and that is if it is a game where you guys get up, okay, and let's say you're up by a touchdown or two, and we're looking at third quarter, fourth quarter. Does the Penn State that played Northwestern all of a sudden come out where they just start gunslinging it? And is that bad for Iowa to have a gunslinging offense?
No.
Okay.
But it's a good point. Iowa is showing a little more pressure than usual and a little more on the secondary. I think they'll be okay with that because they can.
I think it took Northwestern by surprise come that fourth quarter. They were a little like, what just happened?
Well, and Northwestern, with their offense, they probably. I could see where that would, get them. Pat Fitzgerald, he's got one game plan. It's called Beat Iowa. He has it every week. Just only one time a year is it actually against Iowa. And, if someone alters that game plan, usually isn't Iowa that's altering it because they do the same thing each time. But like Penn State, then, Pat Fitzgerald, he's in trouble.
You know what that game kind of reminded me of?
No.
The Penn State comeback on Northwestern reminded me of the Iowa comeback on Pittsburgh.
I could see that.
Where you just kind of like, whoa, this playbook just got opened up pretty big, and Vandenberg's just winging that thing, and Manley was catching manly balls, and
he was catching manly balls.
So, I mean, it was just a heck of a comeback. And on that note,
yes.
I hope you're laughing out there with us.
Yes.
We usually have no problem talking, but right now I feel like we're a little speechless.
What else do you want to talk about? Maybe out there you want to talk about where you can find CyHawk Thoughts.
You can find us on Facebook. Just type in www.facebook.com/CyHawkThoughts. You can also go to Twitter and follow at CyHawkThoughts. A little shout out to a couple of people that came very, very, very close this week in picking scores for the first time. We have one person that picked 27-21 in the Iowa State-Kansas State game. What was the final score? 27-21. What went wrong? He picked the wrong team to win.
Darn it.
Pretty close. We had
Good
another
try.
fella. He picked 28-21 in favor of the right team.
Oh.
So he was just a point
1
off.
point.
So you guys are getting better. You're getting closer. You're starting to figure out these teams. Keep it up. We'll have another Thursday pick'em coming up this week. Remember, Iowa at home versus Penn State. Iowa State on the road in Stillwater against those Cowboys.
Yes, and I know what I want to talk about tonight. I'm wearing my hard hat because this is a hard hat week. Both teams have to get back. If I had my Scooby-Doo lunch pail, I would have brought that also. I don't, but it's a hard hat week. Iowa's got to bring their hard hat and just go down and dirty with Penn State. I think Iowa State's got to do the same. Oklahoma State is going to come out with a lot of emotion. Iowa State's just got to keep grinding away, breaking that rock and rocking and rolling.
I wish I had a hat so I could pound my head. You know what? Once again, no assistants to help us out in our production meeting today, so we're kind of just throwing it out there, winging it and whatnot. Basketball season is just about upon us.
I'm excited.
I am too. We're going to have two teams that don't have a lot of expectation nationally in the media. Or
I have
locally.
expectations. My expectations are high.
Okay. Or locally in the media. But I think both Iowa and Iowa State are going to have some expectations with their fans this year.
Yeah, in different ways. I think Iowa's fan base expectations are, we've sucked for a long time. We finally got to the NIT. Let's take another step because this is just, we got to do it. It's time. Whereas Iowa State, they get to the NCAA tournament. They lose to the eventual champion.
4 out of the last 5 times we've been there, or 3 out of the last 4 times.
And now it's time. Let's get a little better seed. Let's go a little hard, a little farther, and let's lose to them, but maybe in the Sweet 16 or the Elite 8.
I agree. And I think we have the people to do it there at Iowa State. Will Clyburn, he's going to be a beast. Corey Lucius is going to be able to run the show. He's got Final Four experience. We've got returners in Tyrus McGee, a workhorse, Melvin Edgem, another workhorse. We've got Percy Gibson and Anthony Booker coming back. Jury's still out on Boo Paulo. We've got a great freshman. Yeah. Woo! We've got a great freshman coming in George Niang, and a lot of supporting freshmen, Naz Long, Sharon Dorsey Walker, Nikira Mokoro. So, Chris Babb is probably going to be the emotional leader of the team this year, coming back. So, it's going to be another fun run and gun type of a team. And, I think once again we're projected to be 8th in the Big 12. And
dumbest thing I've heard in a long time.
It's like projecting us at 10th last year. What were we? 3rd?
Yeah.
Okay. Freddie knows what he's doing by now. Now it's just a matter of people jumping on the bandwagon, but it is Iowa State, so it usually takes 5 years.
Hey, and let's take a second, too, to congratulate Fred Hoiberg, Character Counts winner.
Yep.
Good job. He told a good story I saw today where Hayden Fry, also Character Counts winner, actually recruited Fred Hoiberg to play football at Iowa as a quarterback.
He was an athlete.
And, yeah, he would have been great.
Yep.
Mid-90s, maybe a little better than Randy Reiners. But, hey, good job, Fred Hoiberg. Congratulations. That's important. I know Character Counts important to us.
Yeah.
And that's it's a really cool way to instill all that value into the team.
Now, I know it's Character Counts, and like you said, it means a lot to us. But I just had this joke that was kind of at the tip of my tongue.
All right.
I don't know if it's a good joke because it is about a very important thing. Character counts. So maybe
Rock and roll.
was Cale Sanderson one of the acceptees?
I don't know.
Maybe it wasn't that good of a joke. I just thought to myself, no one cares about Cale anymore. No one. And I don't think Iowa fans like him. They like him less now than they even did when he was at Iowa State, in my opinion. And Iowa State fans can't really stand the guy right now.
No. Bye, Cale Sanderson.
You know, I know it's like, 2 years removed, but I was just sitting there thinking, character counts. Fred Hoiberg, Hayden Fry, Cale Sanderson. I thought that was a funny.
Sean Johnson also character counts winner.
Oh, well, good for her, you know? I've seen her on some Disney shows.
Yeah.
Dancing with the Stars.
There you go.
Yeah. We have definitely ran out of things to say.
Never. Break out the...
I don't know, what else can we break out? Royce White played in his first preseason NBA game last night.
Is he taking the bus to the next one?
I think he's probably taking the bus to
halfway
one.
there?
Yep.
How's Iowa State volleyball doing right now?
Had the best win in, I think, program history. We beat number 1 Nebraska this year. Then we lose to K-State. Man, K-State, I go in the Big 12 in football, but man, you guys are getting on my nerves.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think they're doing decent. They've had a tough schedule, and we're very young. I think we have the most freshmen playing out of any Big 12 team. So
you'll have your growing pains.
Yep, that's if you can have growing pains and still in the top 25 all year long, that's a pretty good,
pretty solid program.
Pretty good growing pains. How about Iowa volleyball?
They lost Iowa State.
That's as much as we know about that. But basketball is coming up, and we are just pumped to talk about basketball games. We're going to be, I think, are we still planning on, have you found out, am I going to be in this league of yours? Or?
We're working on it.
We're working on it, okay? So maybe we can talk a little bit. We can, hash out why he made a pick, why I made a pick, and find out how we're doing each and every week.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be anything for anyone out there, but you will hear us talk about our league if I'm involved. If I'm not involved, we'll screw the league.
Yeah, and we'll talk about other things.
Like we are right now.
Yes. Like wrestling.
Leotards.
Women's basketball.
Oh, women's basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Women's team. Looking forward to both Iowa State and Iowa seasons this year.
Both of them should be pretty good again.
Yeah.
Iowa seems to always get a couple of big upsets during the year.
That's all we're hoping for.
I'm also hoping to see more than 5,000 people at Carver Hawkeye Arena when the men's play in Big Ten competition.
Yeah, I think it'd be at least 10 this year.
Well, that's good.
10 on average and a lot of Big Ten sellouts.
Oh, okay. So you're thinking...
Yeah.
You're okay. So
it'll average 10. Yeah.
Okay.
Huge improvement this year.
Wow.
The fan base is pumped. Fan base is excited.
Woodbury.
They're wanting 20 wins.
Woodbury and Casella coming in, people. Get excited.
Yeah.
Iowa is not just going to be a bunch of white guys out there. Well, there still might be white guys, but they'll be good white guys. Anywho, I'm Steve Byers.
I'm Chucky Tech.
And this is another episode of CyHawkThoughts. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Chuck, yes, really did. We'll see you next week.